All right, we got a quorum here. I'm gonna call roll.
Mary Jo Morris.
Here.
Dennis Burton.
Here.
Susan Adams.
Here.
Kenneth Massey.
Here.
Randy Hutchinson.
Here.
Ty Casey.
Yes, ma'am.
William Johns.
Here.
And William Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, welcome everybody for being here. If y'all want to stand, we'll say the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take a moment of silence. Okay, let's see.
Make a motion we approve the agenda for March 14th and minutes of February 14th.
I'll second.
Mary Jo Morris.
Yes, ma'am.
Randy Hutchinson.
Yes, ma'am.
Dennis Burton.
Yes, ma'am.
Ty Casey.
Yes, ma'am.
Susan Adams. William Johns.
Yes.
Kenneth Massey.
Yes, ma'am.
And William Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I guess we'll move on to our reports. Jackson?
We've had another fairly busy month in February. Our calls are about 6 up from last year. We had 12 inside the city limits, 2 mutual aid runs to assist Hardy, and 1 outside of the city. Everything's going good. We've got some new equipment to get put on the trucks. I've got 1 truck that needs to go get checked out. It's real squirrely in the suspension. Something's wrong with it. There's been a couple people come by and take a look at it, but it's got to go to Batesville. That's just who handles all of our heavy equipment stuff. J-Car and Ash Flat, they've tried in the past, but never could get anything situated. Then I've got a idea that I want to run by you guys that'll be in the new business, but everything's running good so far.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Have you got with them down there, Jackson, on when they can get that truck in to look at it?
He said they're about 3 to 4 weeks out.
Which truck is it?
It's the one we call our rescue truck. It's the little white one. That's a cab over. And Kyle and I have both been under it, and we can't really see a whole lot. And then there's been another mobile service truck that come by, and he can't tell a whole lot with it sitting on the ground, so they're got to get it up in the air and check out the suspension that way.
Might want to just go ahead and get a time for it and get it down there.
Yes, sir.
Steve?
Pretty calm month. We had 77 calls of service, 22 citations, 5 accidents, most of them deer versus vehicle. 2 animal complaints, one of those probably deer versus vehicle. 7 cases, 1 felony, and 2 arrests. But overall, been a good month for us. We'll have Isaac out next month too. Probably right after right before the.
Is that new about ready to go, or?
We're waiting on some brackets. We bought a bunch of used stuff for it, missing some brackets. So yeah, it can, other than the rear case behind the seats, waiting on some brackets. It can be driven. I think it should be stickered next week, I believe. So supposed to. So yeah.
You guys were on the ball Sunday because somebody flew by me, and then I go, they always get away with it. Sunday, and I go by Harps, and you guys got them pulled over. There was an orange Toyota or something like that.
Wasn't me.
There's so many names.
Go ahead and take credit for it, Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
There you go.
It was raining too, and it was cold. It was miserable. You did it.
Yeah.
Warm rain. I don't know where you were at.
Dave, street department, sewer.
Well, we wasn't able to do a lot with the roads because of all the rain, but we chipped quite a bit of brush and cleaned the limbs up. We did do a little cold patching and cleaning up culverts, but other than mounting new tires for the grader and putting them on, that's about it on the roads. Didn't have too many sewer calls this last month, which is good. We did have problems with those new influent pumps that we put in at the sewer plant. There's a flapper valve in there that's supposed to hold that full, and it wasn't doing it. It was actually making it, plugging it to where it couldn't prime up at all. And we pulled the plate off the back of it. It had a disc like that, just stuck right over the hole, wouldn't let it prime. So we got that out, but we ended up checking the other one, and it was the same way. It broke off too. We had something strange over at Evening Shade Lift Station over one weekend. I don't know. We had a float go bad and changed out the float, and all the floats were in wrong positions. I don't know how they would have got that way unless somebody knew enough to know how to move them, you know. They had them messed up to where as soon as one pump kicked on, both of them kicked on, and they'd both run until it pumped down. But so it took us a little bit to figure out what happened there. But
Those have to be manually set?
do what?
Those have to be manually set?
Well, you can adjust them. I mean, they just hang down the tank,
Right.
and you can adjust them. But I don't know how they would have just changed positions all of a sudden, you know. But anyway, we're trying to keep an eye on that. We had one leak we had to fix, and a couple check valves. Other than that, about it.
I noticed we got all that big rain and everything. Is there a gate or something on that spillway that controls the water that goes into June Lake?
Yes.
It must have been closed because there wasn't any water, and I mean, the spillway was full. I mean, it was really, and none was going into June Lake.
Okay.
So I don't know if it stopped up or.
No, we ended up having to put a lock on it actually because somebody kept stealing it. And,
really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but that June Lake would get, I mean, plumb full, and it would just keep running water in there, and it'd back up into that guy's yard. So we'd close it off, and somebody kept stealing the gate, so we drilled a hole in it and locked it. So they must not have took that back off yet.
Okay.
Anybody else got any questions?
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Dave. Planning and zoning?
We met last week, Mr. Cletus Wiles came by. He's, of course, the property up here on the highway is selling, and has got a billboard there he's wanting to move. And he's got some properties that are down the road a little ways that he's just wanted to not put up any more signs, just relocate that one sign. And he's looking at buying some property to put that sign on. So we told him that he could get it as long as he gets it taken care of in a quick manner, and he's getting permits from the state and everything to get that taken care of. And really,
Where's
that's
the property with the sign?
Yeah.
Not the new one to be.
the one he's taking down, the one that's on the property on the other side of Cox Hill, that two-faced sign, got Brandon Ray on one side. He's taking that one down because the dollar store's building right there.
The dollar store? As in which kind?
The big dollar store, Dollar General.
There's relocating.
Yeah, the lease on this other building is out. They purchased that property and they're building a new one.
Bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
They're probably gonna build a Dollar General marketplace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's a more.
Yeah, let's go build a market. Which is good.
Groceries
It is
and all
good.
that.
I'm
Yes.
excited they're new, but I hate there's all the empty, just sitting empty, so hopefully we
Well,
can
there's
find
a-
somebody
that's
to
another
fill the empty
opportunity for
spot.
another
I was gonna
business
say,
to go
we need
in.
to find another business to fill.
Well, we don't know exactly yet where he's wanting to move that to.
It's gonna be down close to the shopping center on the same side, on the right side of the road, the south side of the road. Either just past All Pro Glass or just that vacant lot that's between the beauty shop and what was the insurance office.
And the state's already been up here looking at everything before he even came before you.
Right.
They was checking to make sure what.
Make sure that those would be feasible to put signs on those.
Okay.
He wants to do it right. He don't want to, he's not trying to make things look bad or anything. And he's looking at putting still a two-faced sign, but stack them, and so they sit straight to the highway, stack them one on top of each other.
So it'll be a 4 sign.
No, no, it's just two. No new signs, just moving that one, just two
Is
signs.
that a two, is that a
It's
two
just-
face thing?
It's an angled.
This is gonna be,
Instead of being an angled sign, it'd
Okay,
be two
well,
faces.
it's gonna be just
facing
one
the
straight
highway.
sign, double-sided.
Right.
Highway department wouldn't let him, or the
He
whoever
can't
rec
add,
can't
he
do
can't
that.
add to what's already here,
Right.
just relocate, as long as he owns the property. That's what he did down here. He relocated the ones he had permission to put signs on down here. He moved those, he bought this property down here and moved them down here. And had the same number of faces.
Make anything else? All right, moving on to the airport. At the last meeting, I think we assigned 4 board members, I think 2 existing and 2 new, to basically meet either before or after the meeting, but to make sure the meeting is going as far as, you know, as it says there, the current bylaws. Basically, the meetings are ran the way they're supposed to be. Chris Clem, which represents the city of Highland, was nominated to be on that board of 4 people, so I think he's doing us a good job representing us at that meeting. To get to the bigger stuff, they're looking at putting a front gate or a new access road in the front of the airport. It's going to be qualified for a 90-10 project, which means 90% will be funded, 10% will have to be paid for. Let's see, they're talking about maybe a proposed solution is for 3 new 60 by 50 by 18 box hangars on the north side. The existing T hangars, projected cost $650,000. State Aeronautics Board will fund 80-20 on the construction, 90-10 on the grading and concrete work. Just to hit on the stuff that they've already went through, they've got the LED lights in the hangars now, and I think they've got the new windsock and all that up. So anyway, they're looking at quite a bit of new stuff at the airport coming in maybe. So we'll just see how that goes in next month's meeting. Tri-County Waste. There was not a bunch of new information really. I think the go-ahead, I can't remember, you'd have to read through here, but the forklift that Sharp County Outdoors is who's going to repair the forklift. I believe I reported to y'all the forklift was broke. So anyway, they've found somebody to fix that, and that's pretty much it on the Tri-County. Mary?
You did that awful fast.
Well, just hit the high spots.
There you go.
Our bank balances for the general fund, that has the reserves and the different things, has a total of $587,343.72 in it. Street fund, along with the street aid, has $62,210.35. Payroll, that just fluctuates back and forth. First Community American Rescue, we still have That's our ARPA funds. We still have $37,833.65. We don't have that now, but that's what we had at the end of February. Our sales tax account has $180,657.79 in it. Our sewer O&M has $25,862.07, and the replacement reserve has $11,322.75. Our CD, which is $61,080.75. That's fixing to mature this month. And of course, that $157, that's just a account that money I'm just leaving that there because of lower than $100, or I'll start growing finance charges. Our meter deposit has $10,125 in it. So altogether, we have $982,734.42 total. So we're up $25,166.23. Our sales tax was down from the previous year of almost $3,000, but we're still up $1,590.47 this time compared to this time last year to this year. The county tax was up from the previous month, and actually it's not the highest it's been, but it's up from last month. And I don't have, if anybody's got any questions about anything on the statement of revenue expenditures. On the page, admin miscellaneous income, $420. It wasn't budgeted, but that was money that we got back. Verizon gave us so much money for phones, and that was a rebate for going from AT&T to Verizon. So that's what that $420 is. And the only thing we're out of budget right now for admin is we only budgeted $600 for building repair, and we had to fix the garage doors, so that was all there. But that's just one of them. Somehow things break down. I really don't know if anybody's got any questions. I sure can answer them.
Just don't ask who tore up the garage door.
Oh.
Huh.
Let's tear it up. We did pay for the police car in February. You can see that. That's not what is a vehicle purchase. There's other things in that. We budgeted $41,000, but there's some other things in that vehicle purchase I'd have to get on there and see what that is. But it's legit stuff, probably what went into the car. If you've got questions, ask them. We don't have anything else. Oh, I have a couple of people sitting around the table that needs to cash their checks, or I need to rewrite them. Ty, did you deposit your check for last month yet?
Yeah.
I hadn't cleared, but it might have cleared now.
They should.
Wrote a check for you.
I lost it to Billy.
Huh?
I lost it to Billy.
You,
Did you take care of
has it been cashed?
Probably not.
Yours has been cashed. I got one from you, William, but I might have to rewrite it. It was written, let me find the payroll account. Well, I have it on my mind. Whoop, I went past it. It was for $49.
Yeah.
As I took, okay, I'll rewrite it. Yeah, it's for $32.35, and I wrote it September of last year, so I need to reprint that check for you. And Ty's, yours was last month that I
That was
wrote
a
2
we
seconds.
mailed it.
Yes, we mailed that check to you, that's right. Okay, that's all I've got.
Any questions on the recorder or treasurer reports?
Just, mail those checks to me and I'll take care of it.
Okay, you'll make
We
sure they
obviously
get
get
paid.
right on that.
You will
We
cash
obviously
them.
can't handle it on our own.
I'll give them to
I'm gonna even say something to you about it, and I had it on my brain, I thought, I'm just gonna ask you about it, yeah.
I know what time your mail runs. All right, unfinished business. It's gonna be the copier lease renewal. Mary's gonna have to inform y'all on that because she knows the ins and outs.
Well, the first page is the, with the color copier with it. It's $159. You're paying 1 cent for black and white, 4 cents for color. On the next page, that top line there, or the top one is what was quoted from Batesville Typewriter. Their lease is $232 per month. They charge 6 cents per black and white, 4 cents per color print. But the way I figured it'll be cheaper to go with Batesville Typewriter.
Is that the one that she had recommended?
That was the one for, that was, we bid it out and whatever, so, but that top 35 color image is what was, compared to that to whatever, to the one that was up there. The second one is just black and white, and it's $120 a month. And of course the cost is the same for black, it'll be the same per copy on that. They don't bank copies. They don't say so many copies or whatever. They don't do that. So it's a whatever I said up there at the top. And yeah, 1 cent for black and white, 4 cents per color. We'll use more black and white than we will color. But the color, the reason I'd like to go to color, but we don't have to, is that on our sewer bills, we can print color on them. And just, it'll bring out, like we've got the spring cleanup coming up, it'll just give a little bit more information on it. But if you feel like it's not something you want to do, Batesville Typewriter waived the January and February cost because we're using their printer right now, and they waived that cost. So all we did was pay for the copies, but they waived January and February cost for the machine because we're still using it, and legally we probably should have been paying them. And that's the two things.
You got anything?
I really want to go with Batesville Typewriter, and because we've used them forever, and but that's no good reason. But I just feel like it when you look at your, and I meant to get that for how much we do copies and stuff. But I mean, if you don't make it's just, to me, and they'll be here, they're close and whatever. The other company was very good, I gave them all the information that we had for Batesville Typewriter, total copies and everything. So I gave them all that information. But they're located out of Mountain Home, and they would have somebody here probably just, if they had somebody there, they would probably be just as good as Batesville Typewriter. But that's you guys, and we don't have to go color.
Well,
Need a motion or what?
I need a motion how you want to do
Make a
that.
motion, we use Batesville Typewriter,
I'll second it.
black and color.
Okay.
You say black and color?
You want a second?
Yep.
Randy.
Randy.
William Johns,
Yes.
Kenneth Massey,
Yes.
William Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Mary Jo Morris,
Yes.
Randy Hutchison,
Yes.
Dennis Burton,
Yes.
Ty Casey,
Yes, ma'am.
and Susan Adam.
Yes.
What, did you say yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's gonna wrap up the unfinished business. On to new business. We had a lift pump go out on FM 101 lift pump station. It's a dual pump system. Had one go out. Jack Tyler out of Little Rock is who we had to buy another pump from. Dave, you want to give a little better explanation?
Yeah, we actually had it budgeted to have repairs done on that pump. And, they was gonna put an impeller and wear ring in it. And when they took it apart, the blue, the bottom part of the pump had a lot of damage on it. So it was gonna have to be replaced. And when they pulled the top off of it to check the oils and stuff like that, he said that was full of water.
Is that what this is?
So the
though?
seals were bad, the bearings were bad, and it was gonna cost almost as much to have that rebuilt than it was for a new one. And we was only gonna get a 1-year warranty, and it was gonna take at least a month, he said, to get parts. And so we was gonna be down for at least 5 to 7 weeks. And he already had the new one in stock, so
What kind of warranty we get with the new one?
5 years.
5 year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would have had a 1-year warranty with a rebuilt pump that we possibly could have waited up to 7 weeks on. Then that puts that lift station only running one pump, which is, Dave can probably tell you a lot more than me, but according to Dave, very strenuous on just one pump.
Well, that's why that pump's in as bad a shape as what it was.
Yeah.
There were so many times that they went down. We replaced the one a few years back, but that's the reason that pump's in such bad shape, because it's just been running a lot.
This 21,000, is that the quote to fix it, or is that the quote to buy the new?
21,000 was the repairs, the
Okay, I
rebuild.
don't look like I got the,
And 28.
don't look like I got the.
That's
number.
right.
Did I get it in
That's
there?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. It's kind of a bargain, really. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it.
Well, and the 7 weeks scared Dave, because if the other one goes down, then we're not just looking at one problem, then we've got another $28,000 problem on our hands. You know, that was another key factor in that, you know, to go along with the extra 4 years of warranty with a new one, so.
And I need to pay it out of that money that's slowly going away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around to bad luck the last 2 months for the sewer system, but
So it could get worse, too.
yes.
Yes.
We should know something this month on the sewer grant we applied for, so everybody keep their fingers crossed on that, if you would.
Are we wanting to pay that out of the American
Yes, I
Rescue
do.
Fund money?
Yeah, thanks, yes.
Well, I make the motion that we pay this out of the American Rescue.
Second.
That's what it's for.
It was a good thing just for a side note, or a call roll, it's a good thing we had fixed the roads, paved the roads, because we would have been in kind of,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have liked to spend it all on sewer, but because we did other things, paved them 2 roads was a good plus thing, is what I was told, so, or the auditor told us that was a good thing, so. I'm gonna call roll. Dennis Burton,
Yes.
Ty Casey,
Yes, ma'am.
Susan Adams,
Yes.
William Johns.
Yes.
Kenneth Massey.
Yes.
William Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
Mary Jo Morris.
Yes.
And Randy Hutchison.
Yes.
Anybody got any more questions on that? Anything else before we move on?
Thank you, Dave.
Well,
Well,
And how soon can this be put in?
They've already got it.
It's in.
I'll pay it.
Oh, okay.
It's already there.
It's, it was in 24 hours after we realized we had a problem.
Yeah.
You have a major repair,
It's gotta be done.
it's gotta be fixed.
I'm glad we had the funding for it.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all for that. On with new business, the CD interest rates. Mary, what have you got for them on that?
Well, I bid out the CD interest rates because we, and the reason, a finance board can decide, they can open up new accounts and everything, but what I'm wanting to know is how much of the general fund reserve money you want to put in a CD. We've got, didn't put it here. We have in our reserves, and I should have wrote that down.
300 and something, isn't it?
In our general fund reserve, we have $343,158.71. Instead of letting that set there and making 0.45 or something, I'd like to ask to put that at least 150 to 200,000, or whatever you guys think would be
I was
good.
thinking 150.
You know, so, but if you got, you know, because like our general fund right now, how much is it? It has 171,000. I won't let that sit there. I will transfer money from that and put in the general reserve, because 171,000 is way too much money to be setting in the general fund. Of course, we paid for cars and we did some things that come out of that too, but we have, you know, I would probably maybe, I'd have to take a look and see where we're at, because we've paid bills. I would want to get that down to at least transfer 50,000 or more into the reserve. So you know, it's up to you what you want me to do. As far as I can see, First Community Bank had the highest interest rate on a CD.
I saw that Evolve has no penalty at 4%. Do the other ones have any penalties?
Well, if you can draw some out, there's not penalty. On any of it's not going to be penalty. You're just not going to, you might, if you had to get some out, you're going to lose that interest rate on that, but there'll be no penalty.
You'd forfeit your interest gains but that money's not locked down. If you have to have it, you can get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But long story short, as making 0.4%, it can be sitting basically in a CD somewhere and drawing 4.5%.
Saying that to me, because I've worked at the bank and did finance my whole life, is extremely low still, but compared to what it is prior to that.
Yeah,
it's really gone up right now.
That's very good.
Yeah.
But most of it is honestly, it's not short term.
Yeah.
You know, it's all 12 months. Centennial was 13, and I was, you know, First Community was 4.5. I did have an interest rate from, to be honest, from FMBC that went 4.52, but I'd already went out with these other banks, and so, you know, I just feel like because we asked the banks and we got them timely,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it, because I post, you know, and I mean, probably if First Community might match that or whatever. I don't like to ask banks to, but everybody gave it to me. I asked, I wanted it by Friday, and when I got that, so, but I am going to take that CD. We need to take that CD of 60,000 that's matured and put that, lock that into First Community's got all this money anyway, to the 4.5 for 12 months, and
Well, you take care of all the money and you do a really, really good job with it, so I'm gonna say, you know what we can do and what we can get by with, so.
That's what I think, because 12 months, it goes fast.
Mhm.
I mean, a year would be gone in
Yeah.
no time. So I
It's
don't think that's
I agree.
too long to lock it in.
Yeah.
so what do you want to do?
200.
Okay.
Where are you at now? Did you say 300 and something currently?
Yeah.
343,000, and then we've got 177,000 in the general
Let's do
fund.
a couple.
At least two.
Yeah.
I would say.
Do 200,000, okay,
Yeah.
we'll do that, okay.
You need
So let's make a
for that?
motion and then let's,
I
yeah.
move that we put,
Good deal.
$200,000 in the CD at First Community.
I second.
Okay. All
One of
right.
these days, we're gonna say, let's put 2 million in there.
Oh, that would be nice. Our general fund is getting
We're going back.
almost back to where it was before we started financing sewer. That's honestly, when I first took office, we had bought some CD with Liberty, Liberty Bank was, and we had 6% interest. We made a lot of money on, I mean, we made a lot of, not a lot of money, but we invested 300,000. So, but we're back, our revenues is almost coming back. We're not quite there, but we're not funding the sewer anymore, and that has a lot. We might have had to if we hadn't had the rescue money, but whatever. I'm going to take a vote. William Johns,
Yes.
Kenneth Massey,
Yes.
William Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Mary Jo Morris,
Yes.
Randy Hutchison,
Yes.
Dennis Burton,
Yes, ma'am.
Ty Casey,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Susan Adams.
Yes, ma'am.
One more side note, we need to, the mayor and I are on a finance board, we need to add one more person to, because I wouldn't have wanted, the finance board could have, the way it's set up, we can open new accounts or invest money, but I like to have Susan be on the finance board, if you don't care.
Yeah.
And just so if we have the right, this much money, I wouldn't want to do it anyway. I would rather have council decide, but if we have something, if say we have $50,000, want to get a CD, wouldn't have to go to council if we can get a good CD rate. We could do it. So, but okay, if that's all right with everybody else, okay. All righty, I'm done.
Still be taking it to Tunica.
I was thinking that, Bill.
That's the reason,
We talked about Mary.
Huh?
No.
that's the reason, you notice who I asked. The guys had Tunica on the brain, yeah.
Yeah.
Always in. It's just money, right?
You wouldn't want me walking in Tunica with that much money, because I never come out of there with what I walk in there with.
That's why I go in for 20, I don't have every bit, but I take $20 and that's it.
Low budget.
Low budget. I don't like to lose, but I like to gamble.
Anybody got anything else on the CD?
Appreciate you getting all that together.
Yes.
Well, appreciate y'all for making that a smooth deal. I think that's going to be a smart deal. Let it draw some interest instead of basically drawing none. It's kind of a no-brainer. So.
Well, you're taking the same amount of money that's in First Community right now and just getting a higher interest rate. And our interest is gonna go back, it's gonna go higher, but it might not, I don't know. But First Community Bank has bonds and stuff. Our money is insured. We're not, it's up $250,000, but they have to insure our money, anything over that, so we get that list of how they keep it safe, so.
All right, if nobody's got anything else, we'll move on to the third and final new business. Jackson?
Now that we're talking about money. I don't have the printout in front of me. We've got a 1986 model brush truck.
Is this the one you want?
Yes.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it right now, but as things get older, things start to break, tear down, or tear up. Parts are getting harder to find for it. It's like a 6.5 or 6.2 diesel?
6.2.
6.2. They're few and far between now. I would like to keep that one, but add a second brush truck. I've done some pricing. Ivy's has one that fits the criteria that I was looking at almost to a T. But in there I put a breakdown of all the different calls that we've had, and I think it was 27 of them were brush fires and 7 of them were structure fires. And we don't just use a brush truck for brush fires. That's what the guys run medical calls in to save from getting the big trucks out, narrowing or navigating some of our narrow roads. That 3/4 ton is just a lot easier to get around, more fuel efficient. But this one that I found is a gas burner, so it'll be a little bit cheaper yet. Ivy's has it. It's a 13 model Chevrolet 3/4 ton basic work truck, crank windows, manual locks, single cab, long bed, four wheel drive. Kenneth has went over it. It's got 97,000 miles on it, and I think that would be a really good addition to it. I've priced the skid unit and the lighting equipment and the small equipment just a little bit higher. I always like to just go a little bit higher. There's my quote for the skid unit in there. It's just like what we got now. Everything would be identical to what we have now, minus the bed, just a lot newer version. I would like to use my ARPA money, the American Rescue, to purchase all that, and would be just a little over 30,000. And I've got that left plus a little bit more. And I would like to go ahead and get the ball rolling on that, with y'all's approval.
Where was your totals again, Jackson?
They should be in
I'm probably overlooking it.
right
Okay,
here.
I got you.
The second paragraph on.
I got you.
So we had 27 brush fires, and then was 7 structure fires. But like I said, we use the brush truck for more than just brush fires. That's what they use for medical calls and excuse me, different things like that.
I have a question. It's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
necessarily about this truck, but it's related to fire.
Yes, ma'am.
When it says on the sign, firefighters needed, are those for volunteers or do you have
so
more paid position fire?
It's technically paid. They get paid $12 per run that they make, but it's paid quarterly.
Okay.
In the state of Arkansas, there is no such thing as a volunteer firefighter because they have to get some sort of compensation, whether it's $1 per run, or in some cities they actually pay their water bill, their water and sewer bill. That's how they get compensated.
Gotcha.
That's just how the state of Arkansas is. But yes, I do need, they're considered paid on-call firefighters. My roster is getting thin of people retiring and that are not able-bodied to do anything. But we've got some young guys coming in that I think will do a lot of good for us.
So how much ARPA money do we have currently?
Yeah.
It should be around 34 to 35, I believe.
Okay, just a second.
And what I'm seeing here is 29.5.
That-
And you said you overshot these numbers a little
Yes,
bit.
yes.
So that's on the high end is 29.5.
Yes.
The Sharp County ARPA money has $46,187.67 at the end of March. We've only budgeted, we come in, with 50, we came in with $50,054.38 from 2023, We only budgeted that was 20,000. We have
Yes.
spent 4,000 of that, so we have, but on the balance sheet, we have 46,187.67 is what we
And then
have.
I'll have another 11,000 plus or minus for my radios whenever we write the check for those. Which those should be within the next month.
You said this is in addition to, you have an open bay for this? Or?
Yes, yes. It'll be tight, but I have plenty of room on the one side.
So have you figured all your ARPA money is gonna pay for all of it? Because I
Yes.
haven't,
Yes.
I didn't have time to put a pencil to it.
Yes,
Okay.
the ARPA money should, and that should get rid of, or not get rid of, that should finish out my Sharp County money.
Okay, because you've got radios and then you're asking for this other. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, there might be a couple thousand left after it.
Okay.
Jackson spoke to me about this, and he, I can remember back when I was doing what these guys do, especially coming up springtime of the year. But a lot of those fire calls are brush fire calls. I mean,
Right now, the gamers
they really
burning
are.
off 400 acres at a time, and that is one good gust of wind away from getting on somebody else's property. They do a lot of management to control that, but if it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
It's
Have you shopped around for vehicles?
I have, but I haven't found anything that fits the criteria I was looking at with low mileage. And I try to keep local. They've had that one sitting down there for a month or two now.
I understand.
Yeah, when we were talking about it, that's the first thing I asked him, as far as his call outs go, I said, how much more do you utilize as far as for fires go, which obviously they use brush trucks they're a lot easier to maneuver for all kinds of calls. But I said, and realistically, how many structure fires do these big engines go to compared to people letting fire get out and brush trucks being utilized? So, and I think he broke that down here. Now, where the vehicle comes from, that's ultimately up to you guys. But being the one he does have left down there is a 1984 model. I mean, it runs good, but
It actually belongs to forestry.
what's
Yeah,
that?
so it doesn't actually belong to
Oh,
the city.
okay.
It's on
Well,
it's
thank
a
you for that,
99
Russ.
year
I didn't
lease
even
from
know that. I thought that
forestry.
was
Yeah,
ours.
it has to go back whenever we get rid of it.
Is that the
Okay.
one that has to go back? I thought
Yes,
they
That
gave
is very
us-
good to know.
I know they gave us one.
Yeah, the
back.
tanker is what
You're right, the
we got to
tanker's what
keep.
they got, yeah, the tanker.
But,
bit
a
to
couple
keep.
years ago,
That truly belongs to forestry.
Okay.
so in the event they want to come take that truck back, they can.
So that
They,
Well, you say we're running thin on guys. Do we have enough guys that it would go out on a call?
yes, I've got 18 on my roster, and out of 18, I can count on about 8 to 10 at any given time. I mean, these guys have full-time jobs other places. I've got 2 that are full-time firefighters, one for Cherokee, one for Jonesboro. They happen to work the same shift. Which,
I hate to buy something and it sit there because we don't have the
no,
manpower
and
to put it
there
on
would
the
be
road.
enough people to utilize that. Since I've taken over, the response has gotten a lot better. As far as everybody showing up, participating, being eager to
Right.
train and respond to calls.
If we got the money.
We get any
Paid
kind of
for it.
warranty with this truck?
I mean, it's a used vehicle. I'm sure if there's anything that goes wrong, Ivy's will be more than happy to work with us on it. Like I said, it is a used vehicle.
I saw no comment on his face.
And, no, I did
That's
look
why
the
they
truck
just-
over. The truck is in very good condition.
For a 13 model, it is immaculate.
Yes.
How long have you shopped for a truck?
About a month. And that's Facebook Marketplace every night. Looking in horse traders.
yes.
What other trucks have you?
There's a 2007 with an 8.1 big block up by Springfield. And it's the same price as that with 10,000 less mileage.
Drinks 3 times as much fuel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would feel better if we revisit this next month, use a little more time to look at other trucks rather than just jumping on one. That's me personally. I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but
I tend to agree. I mean, let's really if we're gonna do this, let's really get out there and do some shopping.
I'm not saying you hadn't.
Right.
Yeah,
I just,
yeah, but I mean, let's start calling some people, see what they got.
Look, I mean, give me places to call, and I'll call car dealerships around. Nobody has a basic model 3/4 ton for under 25 to 30. And Ivy's or Charles or Johnny, whoever, come across that one. I think Charles said that was somebody else's that was selling it on commission there.
Is that, what is it, a standard cab or is it?
Yeah, single cab, long bed,
Single, regular cab long bed.
just basic.
It is a work truck.
Crank windows, vinyl floors, cloth seats.
I like it.
That's exactly what I was looking at, just something basic, simple.
Fewer things to go wrong.
Right.
No, gasoline.
Yes.
It's up to y'all.
Okay, once again, as I'm new, the questions asked sometimes are, y'all know the answers already. But the account the funds are coming from, is that something that's renewed every year? Or
No,
is that some
this is,
special money
that's,
you got
no,
because
that's money that came from Sharp County. It's part of that ARPA money.
Yeah, they call it
And they-
COVID money.
But it
Oh,
was,
okay.
it was money that Sharp County had, and they gave all the departments $60,000. We have to report, and it needs to be spent for that, radios, whatever. It is to help the fire departments, you know.
Trying to find a, right now, trying to find a truck, and, you know, you can look all over. And I'm not just trying to sell that truck, I'm just, you know, because you look anywhere for a truck, 3/4 ton, 1 ton, either way, anything that's under 100,000 miles, it's $20,000 and up.
But it was for radio systems initially. That
Yeah.
was the main thing, and that money was supposed to be spent
And
for.
there were several, not to get off subject, but there were several departments in the county that used it for other things other than radios. But I've got my priorities. I bought or ordered radios first, gear for my guys that are here, and then this is in addition.
So we've already got the radios.
Yeah, I ordered bunker gear. The radios are not here, but I've already got money that I've lied on for that, yes.
Is that part of 20,000 that we put in?
Yes, but I'll only need 11,
Well,
5 of
I'm
it.
thinking if we revisit this next month and he leaves this truck,
I was just thinking, I'd like that a month if you get sold.
Right, and I'm surprised he's held on to it for this long for that
Right.
price.
So you
I
said
make a
if
motion, we
If he's, hang on,
accept
if he's
the-
selling it for someone, is that the lowest they'll go? Did you make
They-
an offer?
that's the bottom.
Yeah, that is, I talked to Charles for about 2 hours
Yeah.
the other day, and that is,
I said make a motion to buy it.
I'll second it. Hate to see it crack.
Yeah, let's take it to him.
You guys are awful.
With the CD.
Be quiet, I'm trying to find people's names. Who seconds that?
I did.
William Johns,
Yes.
Kenneth Massey,
Yes.
William Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Mary Jo Morris, Randy Hudson,
Yes.
Dennis Burton,
Yes.
Ty Casey, Susan Adams.
thank you.
How long will it take you to have that outfitted and ready to go?
2 weeks.
If it gets skippy.
The skid unit is about, he said 6 days out from the time I order it. And I can go over to Pocahontas and pick it up when it's done.
Well, we know trucks ain't getting no cheaper.
That's true.
No, they're not. It's a fact. Anybody got any further comments? All right, calendar and announcements. Tuesday, April 4th, planning and zoning meeting at 6 o'clock right here. And then our next council meeting will be the 11th of April, 6 o'clock right here.
Write it on the, tell whoever you want to, our spring cleanup is going to be April the 10th through the 14th. I forgot to put that on the announcement.
Had a handful of people ask me about that.
You don't know how many people's called City Hall and asked, but it'd be spring cleanup, April the 10th through the 14th.
Same rules apply, just tires and paint, throw you throw away, right?
Won't tell.
Yes.
Well, I pick up
In electronics.
no electronics, no building material, no tires, no
Are you gonna get
paint in cans,
bunch
but
to help
anything else we pick up.
Yeah.
No,
Trash up there for you, paint on the trash.
Should be coming to,
we're not having electronics, we're not picking up.
did he put it off for Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
he
'cause
said.
they're gonna be in Cave City.
And we
They're coming
are
to
going
the
to
fire
go
station
by
then
your
the
house
next
one
Friday.
time,
Yeah,
and if we miss you, you'll have to bring it to the fire station and take it there.
Yeah.
Have it out by the 10th.
Have it out by the 10th.
Adjourn, make a motion.
The, journey on that. Memory of something.
Yes. We are.
Everybody's talking there. Make a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
In
I'll
memory
second
of,
In memory of Jim Morris.
In memory of Jim.
Yes. I'll second that.